Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the Harvest Season. My name is Al.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're here today to talk about cottagecore games. Woo!
Woo!
Transcripts are available, as always, in the show notes and on the website. Kevin, welcome back. How you doing?
Glad to be on. Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Hello, everyone.
Yes, it has. You were last on the Pixel Cross episode.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I play that every now and then. Nothing like Picross to unwind.
Yeah.
Or get
I'll be honest,
when you
I haven't played it since that episode. But I think that's mainly because I don't. Well, it's partly that, but I also think that the Switch is not the best way for me to play games like that.
Oh yeah, it's not the best.
If I had it on my phone. No, it's not even just it's like if I had it on my phone, I would do it a lot more. The problem is I don't want to close the game that's open on my Switch to open that up to do a few.
Okay, sure.
You know, it's like an extra effort. Whereas if it's on my phone, I just open up the app and do a few and then close it, you know. So it would be really nice if the next Switch were to like save the state of your open game and like have fast switching between games. That would be really nice.
PS5 and junk does that now, right?
Well, yeah, they say that, but it doesn't ever work on the PS5. At least in my experience. In my experience, I've never managed to get it to actually work.
Well, there you go.
But what do I know? I feel like it would be simple, but I don't know. I'm not a games.
All game dev is simple, don't you know?
Oh yeah, it's just software. I do software. It's just that, right? It's easy.
It's just copy paste.
Cool. So we are going to talk this episode about our favorite marriage candidates across
time for some games. Deep lore. Time for people to learn about us, our tags.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how many of Kevin's are from Wildflowers. Or will we actually learn some new information?
The answer we're talk just Wildflowers. That's the only thing I have on my list. Just Wildflower.
It's just Wesley 3 times, right? So we've got some news. But first of all, Kevin, what have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? Cassette Beasts. You already know this. You listen to Rainbow Road Radio. Cassette Beasts.
I listened to this week's though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. But so Cassette Beasts, the monster catching, not Pokemon game. I forget the name of the developer, but I have it on Switch. It's on Xbox and the Game Pass and Steam everywhere. It's cheap. It's good. I don't even know where to begin. It's just the presentation is immaculate because they put a lot of emphasis on their style. A lot of 80s, 90s influence. As the titular cassettes were popular then, right? The music is fantastic. The mechanics they're substantial, maybe a little confusing or overwhelming at times. But that's probably just because Pokemon has so long dominated the market / my life, right? It's hard to readjust. But in general, the game is pretty snappy and quick. It feels a lot more dynamic than, say, Pokemon, or I think most other monster catchers. The designs are fun. The writing is interesting. I could go on into a whole episode about this, and I might with somebody else who's a fan. But
I wonder who that could be.
I wonder. I can hear him screaming from Australia right now. But yeah, Cassette Beasts is just A++ stellar stuff. I'll give you I'm near the end, I think, from where my quests are and my levels and whatnot. I'm in the last stretch of the game. It is the antagonists are interesting. It's not just a Team Rocket ripoff. It's some otherworldly beings, actually. Rather odd. And one thing about the game, right? There's a partner system where you always have 2 players on the field by default on your side. And so there's a handful of different characters you can pick as your partner. One of the last characters you unlock is named Barkley. They are just a dog who can transform into monsters. They have headphones, yeah. So Barkley is great. But yeah, that's Cassette Beasts. Great game. Aside from that, I have been playing since I picked up my 3DS for the termination of the online services, just to make sure some stuff was squared away. I've fired up Weapon Shop Diomasse. So it is, yeah.
It's an interesting combination of French and English there.
Yeah. It's made by a Japanese developer, so that's some good stuff. It is part of what's called the Guild Collection, compilation of different smaller sized video games on the 3DS, by different developers and game directors and stuff like that. I've heard it described as like a game jam, but the people making them were, established studios and developers, so they are all proper polished games and whatnot. In this one, you play a weapon shop, as the name would imply. You are in charge of a weapon shop where you have to forge weapons for various characters and heroes from your archetypal RPG classic fantasy characters. There's a French knight who's over the top and full of bravado. There's a samurai who's very reserved and old-fashioned. There's a grandma who loves swinging axes and tea. It's a comedy game, so much to the point that it has an actual sitcom-style laugh track. It is a fun little game. It's very laid back and paced. The forging part of it it's just a little rhythm mini game. And the adventures that the characters have, you kind of read about them in the background. There's like this little social media feed that you follow their updates and stuff like that. Very, very cute, very fun. It's published by Level 5, the Professor Layton and Yokai Watch company. And they're very good at making things very whimsical and cartoony and fun. And this game very much follows in that vein. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been up to, those 2 games. What about you, Al? What's been going on with you?
Fair enough. Can you guess? Can you guess what I've been playing?
Is it a Stardew Valley? How many?
It's Stardew Valley.
Have you been marrying?
I'm still playing it.
Are you marrying people left and right for this episode?
Oh, no. This playthrough has certainly not changed my opinions on on any particular candidates.
Where are you? What have you discovered, or how far into the Stardew world are you?
All right. Well, so I have progressed quite a bit since the last episode, because I think is it 2 episodes ago? And when I did that episode, it was like an early episode, and this is like a late recording episode, so it's been like nearly 3 weeks, and I haven't stopped playing that entire time. I keep trying to do other things, and then I go, but I could be playing Stardew instead.
Exactly, but they're not Stardew, right? So why would you?
Yeah. So I think last time I had just finished the Joja stuff, so I had just finished buying all the standard Joja stuff, and Kelly shouted at me for that.
Yeah.
Since then I have done all of the other upgrades. So I've got the movie theater. I've given Pam a house. I've given the shortcuts. I don't know if you've done the shortcuts in Stardew before. I've got the shortcuts in Stardew.
I think 1 or 2. I vaguely remember them. Yeah.
So I've got them. I unlocked and finished Ginger Island. That's all done. So I'm now just using it as a massive...
You've finished it? Wow.
Yeah, no, I've done all that. So I'm just using it now as a massive ancient fruit farm. So I have, I think, 250 ancient fruit plants growing there. Which So yeah, so like every week I'm making
Bajillions.
let's see, yeah,
like, you're making JoJo levels of money.
I'm making like 600,000 a week, I think. Including I have every 4 days I make 100,000 from honey. Because did you know that Fairy Rose honey is worth a lot of money? And so I have a large section of Ginger Island devoted entirely to bee houses with fairy roses growing there. And
all right,
every 4 days I make 100,000 from that.
Dang, you got this down to a T.
I have built 3 of the 4 obelisks now, so I just got the final one to do, which I should probably do after my next harvest. And I've bought the Return Scepter, so that is the first time I've bought the Return Scepter.
What is the Return Scepter?
Oh, have you not seen this? So that's
I don't remember this. No, I don't think I've heard of it.
Krobus sells it, and it's a tool that it's basically just a totem, right? So it lets you get home.
Okay,
but
that would be my guess.
It's like a portable obelisk, or a multi-use totem. So yeah, you use it wherever you are, and you get sent straight to your front door.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
So that has changed things significantly. Yeah, I mean, I've done most of the things. So I'm at now, what is it, 60% of the achievements on Steam. Basically, the only things I have left to do are, obviously, I've got one more obelisk to do. I've got the golden clock to get, which will take me quite a while, because obviously it's 10 million. That's a lot of money. It'll take me a couple of years.
But the turtle, though, that's the one that matters.
Well, yeah, I could probably get that in a week.
Yeah.
At this point, and then the only things I've got left to do are, there's a few crafting recipes I haven't used once, and I have basically not done any cooking, and I have a lot of villagers that I have almost no hearts with. So if I want to get to completion, those are the things I need to do. The cooking and the friendship levels. Apparently, to get completion, you have to have cooked everything once.
Okay.
And you have to have everyone at max hearts.
That sounds like you got the hard parts done, to be honest.
I don't know. I feel like that's the hard bit. The constantly going around and giving people gifts and just, I don't know.
Interacting with people. Ugh.
Well, it's so much work. And it's like, you can only give them 2 gifts a week. And I have figured out that everybody except Penny and Leia, everyone except them like Jade, the gem. And I've been hoarding a lot of jade because I don't know if you know this, but in the desert trader will trade you a staircase if you give them a jade. And so I've got like a lot of crystallariums creating jade, so that I can just take 100 jade to the desert and get 100 staircases and just like speed run my way down Skull Cavern to get some iridium.
Sure.
And they only take 2 days to do a jade, so every 2 days I get another like 20 jade or something. So I have just got like 100 jade on me at all time to just give to anybody whenever I see them.
Well,
the problem is I just like doing that consistently is the annoying bit. So I don't know if I will try and get to completion or not. I haven't decided, because that bit in and of itself, that and the cooking in and of itself, it's a lot of work. Like there's a few bits and pieces, like I haven't shipped everything yet. There's a few things I haven't shipped, but that's like maybe 15 things I haven't shipped, right? That's probably pretty easy to do. Most of them are just crops that I would never bother growing. Like why would I grow green beans? Why do I care about green beans?
The peasant crops.
Yeah, exactly. So that won't take me long. Like, that would take me a season probably at best, because you can grow anything on Ginger Island at any point. And I now have the point, and now I can buy anything from Pierre at any point. So I can just go and buy the stuff and grow it and ship it if I care. Mm-hmm. But I've not decided if I care or not. So I don't know. I'm just going just now. I suspect I will fall off before I get to that point. Like that's a lot of work to get to that point. I'm in year 4 now.
Oh, man, that's impressive.
Yeah, I can't. I've done a lot. What's my playtime on Steam? Let's see. My playtime, so bear in mind, this is my entire Steam playtime, but obviously I only started playing on Steam when the 1.6 update came out. Is that a month ago now? Is that a month ago?
Yes, probably around then.
About a month ago. That's 124 hours.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
I thought it would be longer. Like I was expecting 300.
Thanks. Let me check when the date was. March 19th. It's not quite been a month. It's not been a month yet.
Well, there you go. See, plenty of time to do the completion.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's not even been 4. It's 4 weeks on Tuesday. So 124 divided by 4. That's 31 hours a week. I'm doing a full-time job here.
Yeah, but which one's more well, maybe not profitable, but satisfying at least.
Oh which man, if you could print money from Stardew, I'd be a millionaire. I'm over, what am I at now? I'm over 10 million. Yeah, 10 million total I've made.
That's what's in the 0.64 update.
We'll get to that. Foreshadowing. So I don't think when I record the next episode that I'll still be playing it. I think I'll be in another break. But yeah, it's been fun. I've enjoyed this playthrough. I would highly recommend anybody who's played Stardew before to go with the JoJo run. I do think it's fun, a fun way to do things.
Nothing like crushing the local small businesses.
Look,
always a good
none
time.
Of the businesses shut down, and JoJo gives some jobs. Like I don't see the problem.
Well, you're not wrong.
And plus, let's not pretend like Stardew is an anti-capitalist game. I've made 10 million G's. I am a capitalist if anyone is a capitalist. I wouldn't be surprised if I was making more money than JoJo now.
Captain of industry. Ow.
Plus, if you don't do the JoJo route, you can't buy the auto petters. You have to go through Skull Cavern to get them, and that's not fun.
So. Yeah, well.
Great. That's what I've been playing. Should we talk about some news?
I guess. It's in our contracts.
All right, Chia, which is the game based on New Caledonia.
The real
country.
They have
announced that they're releasing a Switch version on the 27th of June. So if you're waiting for the Switch version of this game, there you go. 27th of June. Coming soon.
It's soon. And, I forget every time I see the trailer for that game. That is a game with a lot of stuff. A lot of going on there. Very cool.
Yes, I still haven't played it, but it's definitely on my maybe play at some point list. Because it does look like it would be good fun.
Yeah. Get to fling off trees. That's pretty wild. Just slingshot.
Yeah. What's better? Sunnyside have announced that they're releasing on the 24th of May on Steam and on PlayStation and Xbox on the 10th of June. They just said, it's really annoying, they said Steam on the 24th of May and consoles on 10th of July. And I was like, what do you mean by consoles? And I had to look through their video and pause on the last thing to see that there is no Switch. No Switch is coming. They have confirmed in their replies on Twitter that it is not going to Switch.
Of course, the Switch isn't a real console. That's for babies.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know whether I'll play this game or not.
I don't know either. I'm disappointed it's not a horror daycare like in the Toy Story movie. Sunnyside Daycare, but
I don't know what to say. I have a Pizza Planet top. In fact, I'm wearing a Pizza Planet top right now.
Oh snap! Oh, yeah. Look at you! Oh, my Pizza.
I bought it when we went to Disney in Los Angeles when I was there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one to get. Oh.
I thought so. I was like, I'm gonna have to buy something. Let's see what we've got. And I saw a pizza. And the best thing about it is it doesn't say Disney or Toy Story on it at all. It is entirely
just
it's an in-universe thing. It's just Pizza Planet. So those who know and those who don't know.
Yeah,
I thought so.
That doesn't have the stench of corporate brand just as strong, but
I mean, it is for a pizza place, so you know.
But real ones know.
Real ones know.
Where's the Pizza Planet simulator?
Spirity have announced that their Helping Hands update is out now. It looks like the big thing is you get more hints towards how you're doing things if you're stuck. So you can ask Wanyan, who is the floating cat spirit on a donut that goes around with you. If you're stuck, you can ask him for hints. I agree.
Actually, one of the things about Cassette Beasts that I really love, they call it rumors, where random townspeople will give you information on where to look for different objectives, including monsters that you have not captured yet. It's fantastic.
Nice. I would like that in Pokemon games because
would be so nice.
The number of times that I just have to go to Cerebi to figure out where this Pokemon is dreadful.
Yeah. Yep. I am always fervently of the belief that you should never have to look up something on an external source. I really wish every game just had all their information buried somewhere in the game.
Stardew does that well. I mean,
yeah.
It's quicker to go to the internet for a lot of things, but the secret notes and the lost books tell you literally everything about that game.
Yeah.
Like the number of times I go, oh, what about this thing? And I search and it's like, well, it was in this lost book. And you're like, oh, don't tell me I need to read.
That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, it's no kidding. I think I've got one. The books they've added in the 1.6 update in Stardew as well is quite fun. I don't know if you've seen that, but they give you extra powers and stuff like that. They're good.
Oh, that's good.
Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Where are we? We are at Spirity. You've not played Spirity, have you? It was me and Johnny who did the episode. All right. Cool. Yeah, I don't think this is dragging me into playing the game again. I will say.
Sure. Sorry, Spirity. There's a lot of other good games right now.
Yeah. There's a bunch of extra quality of life improvements as well. But I'm not going to go over them just now because they're pretty specific to if you've played the game. I don't think any of these are going to be like, oh, I must play that game now that they've removed Pooh Bird near the player's house that led to nowhere. Like that was the one thing that was stopping me playing that game. All right, what's next? We've got Snacko. Snacko have added in their newest update. I'm not going to talk about version.
No.
In their latest update, they have added character customization, which is good, and we like character customization. This is good. Good job. We like it.
That long time coming indeed.
So if you want a pink cat with a neon yellow tail and
that sounds rad,
two differently colored eyes, then you can do that.
Oh yeah. Now you're a real game when you're heterochromia.
That's the word. I couldn't remember. I knew it was something. I couldn't remember what it was. I wasn't going to Google.
Oh, I love that. That's cute. It looks great in the game. The cat customization. Yeah, I like it.
They've also reaffirmed that they are planning on getting 1.0 out this year. They've said late this year. So if I were to bet, I would be betting it's next year, but I'm not betting.
Well, I mean, they're at 0.9.2, so, but how many more could there be?
They started at like 0.8.3 or something, right? Let's not... Kevin, what are you doing? I said I wasn't going to talk about the version numbers. Stop it. My Time at Sandrock.
That's good.
My Time at Sandrock have announced that they're bringing cross-platform multiplayer to the game this summer.
Okay. Good. No, generally, that is good. Cross-platform should be the default for everything, right? Or a goal for everyone, let's say that. So, that is good.
Yeah. I'm still not playing the game.
Probably not.
But a game I am playing, Stardew Valley.
What version number, Al?
1.6.4 is coming out
1.6 update.
The fifth one, actually, I think.
Well, there you go.
The numbers always start at 0. Counting starts at 0, Kevin. Yes, there's a new update coming. I I wouldn't normally mention this, but it does say that it is adding a few goodies as well as bug fixes. So it's not just bug fixes. There is some other stuff coming. No hints. Well, no hints. Are hints. Yes, there are hints.
There are.
A new fishing thing and some new mining related stuff.
Oh, a new fishing thing. Is it going to be, is it making it good? Is that the update?
Wow.
Oh.
I've caught all the fish, by the way. That's done.
Oh man. Hats off to you.
Those legendary fish were quite a struggle, but I got them.
Yeah. But I am curious what it is, though. But there you go. Just you thought you were out, but CernDapes are about to reel you back in right away.
I thought the point was I wasn't out yet.
Well, you said you might be out, but you're definitely not going to be
out. Speaking of not being out or being it, Monster Patch, which is the new Monster Collector from Sean Young, who made Littlewood. He has posted a new screenshot of the playable trainers for the game. And yet again, for some reason, this screenshot also includes the dead dude. So I really want to know what the deal is with this dead dude. This is, I think, the third screenshot we've had with this guy just lying on the street, dead in a pool of blood.
What if it's not in the game and it's just in all the promo or screenshots? That Bed and Breakfast has this running joke where in all their patch notes they have some mention of a character named Gus. He's a possum wielding a knife. The state of him having the knife or not. It's not in the game, but just. But anyways, not Moonstone. Monster Patch.
It's a cool selection of playable characters. It makes it sound like it's not customization, which I think I'm fine with. As I don't think every game needs to have character customization. I think I think you need to make a decision about whether the game should have or not. And it sounds more like that you are playing the specific character rather than playing as yourself, and that's in that sort of situation it makes sense not to have character customization. Right? Like it's weird for RPGs where you're like, oh hey, here's this person, and it's like, oh I'm going to make this person me, and it's like no, the point is it's their story, not yours.
Right.
So
one interesting thing, he says each trainer has a unique passive ability that can drastically influence your playstyle. That is, I think that's actually pretty cool.
That just means I'm going to have to play this game 12 times, right?
Yeah, exactly. The hard mode, it's the guy with the rainbow mohawk.
Yeah. Or the one with the devil horns, maybe?
Oh, the devil horns.
No, I've loved everything I've seen about this game. I look forward to playing it when it comes out.
I'm interested. I'm keeping my eyes open for this one. Unlike the guy with the bandana, his eyes are not open.
Or the guy in the pool of blood.
Or that his eyes are also not open.
His eyes are doing nothing. Finally, Moonstone Island. Don't get excited. This isn't a huge thing, but Moonstone Island have reminded us that it's spring. It is currently spring, and that's important because they said the Switch version was coming out in spring.
Oh, is that why you're bringing this up? I was very confused. Okay.
Spring 2024 is when the Switch version comes out. So,
the
game could come out on Switch anytime between now and, they say, June 24th.
There you go.
Which is the definition of spring that they use.
Well, there you go. Until they have to reach for that southern hemisphere spring.
Kevin, your opinion on everything getting Fishbowl?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's pretty good. At first, when I heard about it, I was like, but then I saw it. No, they look pretty good. The only one I'm really hoping for, I hope they put a whole fishbowl inside a fishbowl. If they do that, that's it. That seals the deal. It's genius. You can't compete.
I want them to do So what was I can't remember the name of it, but the one that was like just a tree trunk.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, log
like spinning
something. Yeah,
I want them to do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Scale it properly so he's sticking out the fishbowl and spinning around inside the fishbowl.
Oh, that's good. That's strong. I like that. That's good. That's good thinking out. Oh man,
like there's so much fun things they could do with this.
Yes, they could. Oh man, got to give little diver suits to the fire ones so they don't die in the water.
Oh, I just noted that one is the tree trunk one is in the original tweet. And it's not. It is to scale, but it's quite small. But he is sticking out the fishbowl.
Oh well, yeah. I did. Got to make a little compromise. That's fine. I can live with that.
Yeah, it's still good. Still sticking out. It worked. Cool. That's all the news.
I'm just remembering Moonstone. There's one that's just like a teardrop with the face. Just put the fishbowl with the face. Just have him in there.
Yeah.
Okay. News over.
News is finished. That is it. The news has
no more news ever until next week.
It is newsed.
Oh. All right, Al.
I'm tired. We're going to talk about marriage candidates. So we have played between us a lot of farming games, of which many of them have romance.
Yep. I'd known complainer of romance. Let's see which ones I like.
Well, this is the thing. So, like, I mean, just to make it clear, I think we're probably both on the same page with this. Is that I don't think that either of us dislikes the concept of romance in games full stop.
Of course.
But that a lot of games put it in because they feel like they need to, not because they want to, and then they don't put in the effort into it, and the characters feel flat, their dialogue feels shallow.
Yep.
And you don't feel like you're actually a character in this game trying to woo this person. You feel like you're trying to check a box.
Exactly. Absolutely. Right. Looking at you, what's the one that's not Stardew Valley?
Fae Farm.
No, the other one. The one with the names like it.
Sugar Dew.
Sugar Dew, yeah.
Yes.
Tread those waters carefully, Sugar Dew.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Oh, you know what? Surprise! Cassette Beast has romance in it. You can romance one of the partners if you'd like. Which
interesting.
Caught me by surprise.
So we're going to talk about what marriage candidates we have liked the most in these games. I have a list of 3. I don't know what you have because I
have 4.
You have 4. Okay. Well, you'll need to start then. But before we get into that, I guess what?
Well, I was about to say, I have 3 and 1 that it's a thing. But we'll get to that. Okay, let's do this. Let's do the Stardew one. I assume you have a Stardew one.
Of course.
Okay, so this is our starting point. The OG. What? Who's your Stardew pick, Al?
Well, you got to start because you've got 4.
Okay, fine. All right.
Otherwise, you'll do 2 in a row.
With Leia. I don't know. I never know how to pronounce her name.
Leia doesn't matter. We don't have voice acting. It can be whatever you want. Leia, that's fine.
All right, there you go.
Was Leia your first marriage candidate in Stardew? Okay.
Yes.
What drew you to her?
All right. It's. I feel like this is very illuminating. She's the only nice one. It feels like.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
right.
No, I guess she is. She is right because you first meet her and she's like, "Oh, you're from the city. What's it like there?"
Yeah.
Whereas so many others are not. They're not interested or downright mean in some cases.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
So. Okay. Well, all right. Let's back up for a second. My first pick was gonna be Robin, but then the game said, "Oh no, she's married and whatnot." Fine. I can't remember who the second was.
The other redhead then.
Yeah. I don't remember who the second one was, but there was somebody also married. I can't remember. But, But then out of the actual eligible ones, I was gunning for Haley. I recall at first, but then not only did she shoot me down at the spring dance, but she shot me down hard. She's like, "Ew." So
she does not is like that is if that's your first example of Stardew, like 12 days in, and Haley just goes, ugh. You're like, oh my word, wow.
I just kind of throw my hands up like, well, I don't like any of you people. And then I properly met Leia, and it's like, you know what, fine, you're the only decent treating me decently. You're cool. That is by and large the only thing I needed. That said, I do like her whole art thing. I think being an artist is a cool thing.
I'm not sure what her sculpture's meant to be, though.
Nope, I don't either. I've been told her that.
It's certainly something.
It's abstract, Al. All right.
Well, you're not wrong. It is definitely abstract.
What about you, Al? Who won you over? Or you won over?
Yeah, okay. I think I talked about this
perhaps.
before, but my first and still favorite marriage candidate in Stardew is Haley. And the reason why is
you like it when she said "ew."
Absolutely. Like it's the exact same reason that you decided to stop trying with her. I was very insulted when you first meet her and she's just so dismissive of you, and then she's mean to you, and it's like there's an amazing moment. It was like you walk up to her and she's like, oh, you must have gotten the latest catalog of some magazine, because dirty muddy boots are really in fashion just now, and you're like, whoa, what was that? You're just like, I love a challenge, right? It's a game. The whole point of games is to be challenged. And so I was like, oh, this is a person who really doesn't like me, doesn't like the idea of me, and I know that I can win her around, and I just need to figure out why. And actually I found that her story progression from that to falling in love with you is actually really sweet, because she realizes that this is like, she doesn't need to care. She doesn't need, like, she starts off so superficial and ends up realizing that love is much deeper than that, and I thought that was really nice.
It is.
And
so
that's why I think she has the most progression of any character that I've experienced.
I would agree. I've read stuff on the wiki and stuff, and I did see several of her scenes, because I still talk to Haley plenty and had friendship events with her and whatnot. And I agree. I think not even just Stardew. I think in almost any game with romance, that's probably one of the biggest character arcs / growth of a character I've seen, which is pretty cool. I get it. And like I said, I went for her first, right? Blonde's like, yeah, let's be honest. But it is interesting to me. This is very revealing about how or why we play games in general, right? Like, you appreciated the challenge, and absolutely, I get that, right? Both in terms of a game or that's a thing with relationships too, right? Like, some people like the challenge or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would want that in real life, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying it's a thing, right?
Yeah.
For me, I like the fantasy escapism of games, and I get enough Haley's in the real world.
Well, and that's an interesting thing, right? Like, I wonder how much of that is. Well, that sounds pretty accurate, right? Because I first played Stardew when I was already married for 2016. I'd been married for 3 years at that point. So I was like, I wasn't experiencing that in real life. So it's not like I would be, like, it would be reminding me of experiences in life that I didn't want to think about.
Oh man,
it was very different to that, and I certainly, I didn't have to. It's not that I didn't have to work to make Rona fall in love with me. Of course, I did. Like, these things are always work, but it's not the same thing. She was always a nice person.
Your dowry was enough.
Yeah, exactly. No, she's always been a nice person, and so it's not. I think that's interesting. Yeah,
it is, because that I think this is actually really important context, because I'm on the polar opposite end of the spectrum. Like, for people who haven't caught on from things I've said over the years, I'm just laying it all out for you people. Like, I have never had not only a relationship, I've never been able to get a date. I'll be honest here. Like, look at me, people. Like, ugh. So my experience.
You're on an audio podcast, Kevin.
Well, I'm being open here. You wanted relationships. This is it, man. This is the heart of it. I wasn't expecting a
therapy session, but here we go.
Well, now, guess what? This is why romance is the thing. Like I said, escapism and fantasy. We're gonna go on a date.
Oh, dear.
All right.
Listeners, if you want to date Kevin, message in. We'll get it started.
But if you do, you got to compete with some other ones, because before Leia, many moons ago, for an even younger Kevin, I was in middle school actually. So I wasn't obviously I had interest in girls at that point, but I wasn't dating per se, right? Like, I was too young for that per the family and whatnot. But I played a game called Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, and it is there where I first met my first ever sweetheart of any kind, virtual or not, Celia/Cecilia in the remake. She was one of 3 candidates. There was there was the other 2 that I didn't select. There's her name was Nami. She's the kind of tough girl, more distant, aloof kind of girl. There was Muffy, I forget what or Molly in the remake. She was the barkeep, and Molly was nice and all, but again, Celia/Cecilia, she's very sweet. She works on a farm, right? So she gets what you're doing. She's very down to earth and sweet, and really just a sweetheart, and I think that's what won me over. She's also just mechanically like the easiest to win over. Because again, she works on a farm, so she likes crops and stuff like that. Her gifts were easiest to get to. You probably encountered her more going to the farm to purchase supplies and whatnot. But she obviously has a special place in my heart for being the very first. Yeah, and in the remake, she's pretty much the same thing. Still wonderful person. And what's cool is when you marry her, like, her helping around the farm and stuff feels very natural, right? Like, I think that's a fun little element, because, sometimes your person you marry or whatever, they'll help out, but you can tell, they're trying. They get a gold star for trying, right? But nah, she knows what she's doing on the farm, and I think that's pretty cool.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right, Al, what about you? Who's number 2 for you?
So my number 2 is Story of Seasons, Tree of Towns. We have Iluka. Iluka is one of the identical twins in, if anybody has played the game,
Oh yeah, okay, she's a winner. I just Googled her up. I like that. All right.
I can't remember the name of the town because it's been a couple of days. There's like 3 towns, and the one that she's from is like a kind of islander style, like Pacific Islander style village. It's
Carosello, is that the name? I'm looking at the wiki here. Sorry. No, that's a cafe name. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's Lulu Coco.
Oh, Lulu Coco.
Lulu Coco.
There you go.
So the interesting thing about this is, so you unlock the 3 towns as you. So you start off with one of them, which is like the Western right. US style one, and then Frontier, you unlock the one that is like based on a Japanese town.
Okay.
And then you unlock this one, which is more kind of Pacific Islander type thing.
Sure.
And so if you start off this game and you immediately look for your marriage candidate, you are not going to find Iluka or her sister Siluka.
That is a cool little twist, right? Because I think, especially Story of Seasons, they very much trained you. Like, you got to start looking right away. But having all these characters locked...
Because it's a lot of work, right? You got to start early.
Yep.
And it's not that there was nobody else in that game that I thought would be an interesting marriage candidate, but there was no one that was like, oh, this is the person I must woo. Yeah. And then you unlock this 3rd town and you're like, oh no, this is it. This is the person.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is they have, obviously they are identical twins. They look almost identical. The only differences physically are they wear different colored clothes.
Yeah.
And they tend to have different facial expressions. But that's because their characters are very different. Their personalities are very different. And as you get to know them, you find that out very quickly.
Okay, I take it she's a more cheerful, maybe happy-go-lucky, because I look at the other character, Siluka. She's kind of more serious.
It's more, well, no, not really. So it's more like Siluka is more, how would I describe it? She's kind of more kind of like sleepy, I guess. Kind of like not, she's just kind of...
Okay, she goes through life at her own pace and sometimes does nothing per the wiki.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, is that what the wiki says?
Yeah.
No, I think Iluka is much more strong-willed and has, a lot more opinions on things and, is much more likely to kind of like tell you when she's not liking something or whatever. And so,
she's somewhat strong-willed and also has a cheerful personality.
I'll use the same words as the wiki, I guess, if that's what you're reading out. I think that's a really fun thing to do, is to have identical twins who have quite different personalities.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. I like that. That's very good. And also purple hair. Thumbs up for that. I'm always down for the purple hair.
Yeah, it's funny that they both have purple hair, because that implies that either it is a genetic thing, in which case I'm intrigued there, or they both decided to get their hair dyed the same color. That seems odd to me, especially as
both are very interesting implications.
So that's my second one. What's your third one?
All right. My third one, so as much as I was not a fan of the romance in this game, like being present at all, really, and the characters, I think in general were a bit flat. I did enjoy Farah from Moonstone Island. So she is the town's blacksmith, and I think her personality stands out from a lot of other characters, not in just Moonstone Island, but across the board in these cottagecore games, as a character, especially like a female that you can romance and whatnot, right? She is very, very like bubbly and cheerful, right? But she will also not necessarily like go after you. She will not ask you out on dates per se, but she will openly flirt with you and whatnot.
Like right from the start as well.
Yeah, right from the start. Yep.
She's so fast into that. You're like, oh, calm down.
And so, I do think that stands out, and again, the fantasy aspect. But someone who gives you attention like that, I think is pretty cool. And she is fun, right? Because as a blacksmith, right, like not the traditional role that one might expect, and that's kind of her story as well, like how she likes working with the metals and being tough and stuff. So that is, I don't know, I think she's pretty cool. She's fun. Yeah. Hair is purple. And then after
the thing that you like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I will not. I could go down a list and other characters that fall under that, but yeah, even aside from that, when they did the marriage update, they added more dialogue and stuff like that, so you get to experience more her life at home and fun it is. She also loves soup. I don't know why, it's a running thing. She loves soup. But yeah, again, that is Farah from Moonstone Island. All right, what is numero tres for you, Al?
My third one is a new one, from Coral Island.
Of course.
And my reason is I think I'm not aware of another programmer in a farming game, like a character in a farming game that is a programmer, and therefore
somebody in Stardew does programming.
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm going to look it up. Okay, you talk while I look this up.
I'll talk. And so there's just something really nice. I mean, I felt like, people are going to say, oh, you married yourself in that game. Like, I mean, essentially, yeah, right? Like, it's nice to see kind of that represented.
Sebastian from Stardew. Programmer.
See, yeah, okay, fine.
But it's Sebastian.
I've never, and this is actually, I realized like 10 minutes ago that I think we need to do another episode with people who might actually romance male characters, because I think we've made a very clear preference in this episode. Well, I know you'll probably have one coming up, but other than that, it's quite female heavy.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It would be fun to get a reverse of this, right? We'll reach out to some people.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Definitely. But I think that it's fun to see that, right? And not only is she a programmer, but she works from home. She has her own home office. So like she spends most of her time in her house. And so that kind of makes it a bit different to try. You're most of the time with these characters, you're like, oh, I need to go find where they are. With Lily, you're like, oh, she's at home. Yep. Of course she's at home. She's working. Or when she's finished, she's relaxing. She's at home. Right. And
that's cool.
I thought that was quite interesting, and yeah.
Right, yeah, because
my third one.
So many of these characters are like, or not even just the romanceable ones, right? Like everyone goes to the town bar because that's the gathering point or whatever, right? And everyone goes to the festivals. So having someone who's much more
introverted,
yeah, that would be the word, right? Yeah, I think that is pretty cool representation. Like you can kind of see that in some characters, but they don't really act it out to this level, and that is an interesting.
No, and they tend to be say like Clint, for example, in Stardew, who's like more introverted, but you dislike him because of how he actually deals with that. Yeah. Whereas with Lily, it's like she's introverted and doesn't tend to spend time with other people, but it's not because she's a terrible person and doesn't know how to deal with people. She just prefers not to. You know, there's a massive difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, we should do the hate list episode at some point. Just thinking of Clint there. All right. Oh, I like your design. That's cool.
I will say my one problem with Lily is that, as with most characters in Coral Island, when you marry them, they lose all their personality and they do nothing. And I really hope they're going to fix that at some point, because it's just such a depressing thing to remove everything from that person. You know, in Stardew, they go and still have a life after you've married them, and they have their own little area in your house and a bit in your farm that they create as their own little unique thing. Yeah. And then, you know, like I was finding this because I married Emily in this one. And you wake up, you go talk to her, and she says what she's going to do for the day, or she's outside telling you what she's just done, you know. Whereas you wake up in Coral Island, I go talk to Lily, and she's like, good morning, and then that's it. Literally says nothing else. Yeah. And just stands in the bedroom the entire day.
With her somewhat creepy smile.
Biggest annoyance with that game.
Yeah, no, I get it. Moonstone Island had that problem really bad before the marriage update, because you could only ask them out on a certain number of dates, and then that was it. That was kind of it. Romance was dead. Very cool. But no, Lily, yeah, that's a cool character. I like her design too. That's a good pick. All right. Let's get to it. The fourth bullet. It just says Wildflower. It's just all of it. I wish.
Oh, is it not Wesley specifically?
All right, yeah. Let's talk about Wesley. So, okay, his shocker. Kevin's gonna rant about Wildflowers. Wildflowers has a few characters in particular that I think are interesting romance candidates because of the story, which is not a thing in most cottagecore games, right?
Yeah.
There are two in particular. The first one being Cameron. He's interesting because he's so antagonistic during the story of Wildflowers. So
you said you didn't like about Haley.
Yes, but okay. Let me explain. Okay, I'm full spoilers for people who haven't played Wildflowers. Like, here's your warning. Okay,
this is the last character we're going to talk about. So if you don't want the Wildflowers spoilers, go. Bye bye.
Yep.
We're done here. There's nothing else after this.
Okay, so if you remember, Al, the premise is witch, coven, and cottagecore, right?
Yep.
So there is a period in the story of Wildflowers where there are literal witch hunts, people being accused of being witches in the story.
Yep.
And Cameron is very much so behind a lot of that.
Oh, interesting.
But he's still romanceable, right? So like it's very clearly very divisive, and I didn't romance Cameron or even get too close to him personally, but I think that's just a very interesting interesting scenario. Trying to
I'd love to know what happens, because presumably there's a point, because I know that it ends with like acceptance of the witches, and so I would love to know what if there's a thing that happens when he finds out.
Yeah, I mean, even without the romance, he does start like, repenting and apologizing and whatnot, right? But I would be interested to see if there's any romance specific dialogue for that.
It feels like if any game's going to do it, it's going to be Wildflowers, because it's so story heavy.
Yep, absolutely. And I think it's very likely because let's talk about Wesley. Okay, so for people who haven't heard me 100 times, Wesley is the character voiced by Ray Chase, who we had on the podcast. He is the reason I bought the bloody game, because I love Ray, and when I heard he was romanceable, I was like, well, I gotta do that, gotta see what that's all about. Thankfully, Wesley as a character did not disappoint. So Wesley is unique in the candidates because he is the only romanceable character that is actually, that's not true. No, there's one or two other ones, but he is ingrained into the magic community. But so much he's a werewolf, right? So he's very much in there. He lives in the magical village. He doesn't live on the main island. Wesley as a character, I think, is great. He's very dapper. Always has a nice like coat on, and he's very he's very like gentlemanly, like he's very intelligent. He's a bookkeeper or bookshop keeper, and he's a great character in my opinion. Now, and of course, also the dulcet tones of Ray Chase, right? But the real kicker, and I think this is something completely unprecedented and I think just not done in any other game. Again, the spoiler part, real. This is big spoiler part. So towards the end of the game, you find out that there is an antagonistic witch who is not part of the coven, who has been causing chaos on the island and whatnot, right? And towards the end of the game, you find out Wesley has actually been feeding her information, because she has promised to help him with his werewolf condition. So he has been essentially betraying the coven that Tara is part of. And so that's obviously a big twist, right? And this is absolutely a conversation that comes up during the game when you romance him, to the point where this is the part that I think has never been done anywhere else. Just through the gameplay story, you get an opportunity where the game asks you if you want to divorce Wesley if you married him at that point.
Oh,
right.
Because of the betrayal.
Right, because of the betrayal. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and right, that I think that's a very fascinating thing. I of course didn't. I didn't betray him, but not even just, well, yes, because of the right thing, but like in context, I think it's forgivable. Like it was clearly an act of desperation. He's still a very much like a nice person, and he does work to redeem himself and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's particularly fascinating to again have the story impact the romance and vice versa. And not every other romanceable character in Wildflowers would be that way. There are some that are, more neutral or not as plot heavy, relevant, maybe. But Wesley definitely is. And so, that is why he's definitely up here on the list of most memorable romances for me. Just for that alone, like, some actual meat on those bones.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and there you have it, folks. There's my Wildflowers pick. There's some other good ones in there too, but definitely Wesley.
Cool. Well, those are our favorite marriage candidates as of just now. Maybe they'll change as we go on.
Yep.
Maybe Kevin will finally play Coral Island. Maybe I will actually put more time into Wildflowers or Moonstone Island. Maybe I'll play It's a Wonderful Life. No, I'm not.
That's what I like the most, I think. Oh man, Coral Island. The characters in Coral Island, how should I describe it? Like, they're very, very pretty. Let's say that. That's what all the portrait artists. They're just all very pretty.
It's a good way of putting it. Yeah, there's not a lot of diversity in terms of there's no ugly characters.
There is no ugly characters in this one. Jeez, Sumeru, good heavens, that's a chiseled man face.
My biggest annoyance, and I need to double check her name. My biggest annoyance with Coral Island is the non-romanceable one called. Oh my word! There are too many characters in this game. Senja.
There's 28. Holy moly, that's a lot of romanceable characters. Jeez.
So I'm most annoyed by Senja not being romanceable.
Okay, Senja, you say. Let me look her up. That'd be a good episode. The ones, the most memorable non-romanceable characters. Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm already down for Senja. She's got goggles on. I don't know what that's all about, but
she's a hunter.
Oh man! Oh, I just saw her full art. Oh, that's such a good outfit. Oh no!
She is a part of the Band of Smiles, and which is the like equivalent of like the monsters cabin, in Stardew.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Like the place you go.
That's a good
when
name.
It's like people who like to hunt monsters.
Oh yeah, that's cruel that she's not romanceable. Oh man.
And I feel like, but also just like her character is like really flat because of that. I don't think they put the effort into her.
Sure.
But I feel like there's a lot of potential there, and I would love to romance a hunter character. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, it would be. Oh man, as a kind of general aside, so the romance in Cassette Beasts. One kind of interesting thing about it is like your partner goes with you as you're doing all your adventures and whatnot, right? Like I wish
does
they
it give you a benefit,
right? It does. Like it boosts your stats during battle and stuff like that.
Okay, that's cool.
And I just wish stuff like that, right? Like if you could romance a hunter character, could they join you in the caves and help you fight stuff? That'd be cool. Yeah, but alas, we can't have that. Potential. We can't have Senja. Can't have Robin.
Yeah, if we're not careful, we'll start talking about breaking up other romance relationships in the game.
Well, look, we hold off.
The Robin one The Robin one is particularly annoying because it's like, I don't like Demetrius. He's just annoying.
Yeah.
I can't describe why. It just, like, he just seems so patronizing. And yeah, I just,
You can do better, Robin. You can do better.
he sends me like random gems in the mail, and he's like, "Oh, this is an interesting specimen," and I'm like, "Dude, it looks exactly the same as the 3,000 others of that one I got. Thanks for the amethyst. That's what I really needed."
Oh man.
Anyway, good fun. Enough about complaining about characters. That's a different episode.
We got to save that one. That's a good one. We'll save that for another day.
Who are the worst characters? Clint and Demetrius.
No.
Thank you, Kevin, for joining me.
Thank you, Al, for having me on. That was a good one.
People we like in the games rather than people we don't like in the games.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Al, for having me on. This was
listeners. If you have an opinion about one of the characters that we said, or if you have an opinion about a character we didn't talk about, maybe you think that. Maybe you like Clint for some reason. Maybe you're...
Let us know so we can block you.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe your favorite character is Lisette from Trio of Towns. Maybe your favorite character is Sam from Stardew. Maybe you're annoyed about the number of women that we talked about. We didn't talk about any men. Well, that's feminism.
Look, I'm sorry, guys. Look, I've already sunk low enough in this podcast. You know, fine, judge me. It's well, I have nowhere left to go.
Kevin. Let's be honest, Kevin. Even if we got on people on this episode who were not who did not identify as men, they would still choose female characters because they're just better in these games.
Is Stardew the worst case of that? Because it's pretty bad in Stardew. Like,
yeah,
like I can all things aside, like I do think Wesley is a great character, right? Like I get it, right? But man, Stardew, I can't think of a single guy like you could do better than that.
Yeah, I believe Cody did romance a male character in Coral Island, so maybe we need to get them on.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Krobus is just the best romanceable character in anything ever. You can't.
Not romanceable.
Well, you know what I mean. Whatever. Just go the Krobus route in life, people.
This has gone off the rails. Listeners, if you want to tell me who your favorite character is, you can find the podcast at THS Pod on Tumblr and on Twitter. Kevin, where can people find you if they want to talk about Wesley?
Well, if you want to talk about Wesley, find Ray Chase. But if you want to, actually, you can go to my Twitter at Cooper Press to find me talking to Ray oftentimes. Actually, find me at Sprider Squared if you want to see my art count. I promise I do art. I haven't been posting a lot of it, but I do art. Or you can find me at Rainbow Road Radio, where you want to hear a different kind of love, my love for Waluigi and such, or Princess Peach in her game. Not necessarily the romance way, but I did like Princess Peach showtime. That's the Mario podcast I do with our mutual friend Alex. We've been playing a lot of the classic Mario games. We'll be doing Super Mario Bros. 2, the one that came out in the US, not Lost Levels soon. But yeah, what about you, Al? Where do people find you?
Yeah, they can find me on mastodon.scott and on Twitter at thescottbot. You can find links to everything to do with the podcast on our website, harvestseason.club. You can find links to things including a feedback form where you can tell us things there. So if you don't want to tweet or Tumblr or Mastodon at us, I refuse to say toot. You can do it on our feedback form. No account needed. You can also find a link to our Patreon where you can support the podcast financially and get access to a backlog of bonus podcasts. We will have some more coming up soon. We're just planning some just now. Me and Kevin have 2 planned, but I haven't done one of them and he hasn't done the other one.
Yeah.
So we're both to blame for that, and we'll get both of them done.
We will
sometime soon.
Yep. And like I hinted at earlier, there's a fellow Cassette Beast head, and his name is Johnny, and we will get on this when I hit credits. We will do a greenhouse about that. Probably do 2, actually. We'll do one for the DLC. Yeah, we promise content will come.
There, I just added it on the list. You can't forget about it.
No, I won't. I'm playing it now. I'm thinking about it more than anything else right now. You should see our DMs. Boy, there's romance opinions in there.
Oh,
once again, the best candidate is a romance of all.
Always.
She's a French cafe owner. It's great.
Peach. You can also get access to our Slack where we talk about things. Recently it's just been me talking about Stardew, and
go
Kevin
hear me
about Fishbowl.
I talk. Oh man, we should rank all the Fishbows.
That's not true. There's a picture of Cody with a stick insect on their face.
Yeah, so yeah. When non-me episodes come out, I'll be on there talking about them. So go read my insight that you people desperately miss when I'm not on here. It's all in the Slack.
I think this might have been the longest outro to a podcast we've done, so I think we'll cut it there. Okay. That's everything.
All right.
Thank you, Kevin, again for joining me.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. And until next time, have a good harvest.
Have a good romance asking people out. I don't get those.
The Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
All right. Here's your post credits. Let me back up a second. Did you just say that Mastodon things are called toots?
They're called toots.
That's the worst. The absolute worst. Oh my goodness.
The reason why they're called toots is because the Mastodon logo is an elephant.
I get it, and it's still the worst. I hate it.
I know. I don't know. This is the thing. Like, I don't know. And like, obviously I'm just going to say this. There are a lot more problems with Truth Social than this, but one of the things that annoys me the most about that place, I have never been on it, but I have to keep hearing about it because, of course, you do for some reason. The worst thing about that site is, one of the worst things about that site, there's lots of worse things. One of the worst things about that site is the fact that their posts are called truths. Oh. And it gets worse. Did you know what their ads are called?
What?
Their ads are called sponsored truths.
Oh my god.
So there are many bad things about it, but like that takes the cake. It's just dreadful.
Oh, that's
like,
something.
I don't know why they can't just call them posts, right? The problem, I think Twitter is the problem. They're the reason why they started.
Yes,
because I feel like they're the first that started calling them tweets.
Yes,
and everyone's like, "Oh, we have to have a funny name." No, you don't. You don't have to have call them posts.
Okay, but
it was fine before Twitter. It will be fine after Twitter. Let that die. It's a post.
Go to my Twitter to see my posts, which are now called lies.
Yeah, we need to have a new social network called Lie Social.
Well, there's one. It's called Truth.
My joke was going to be it just reposts everything that Trump says.
Oh, that's good. Oh man.